Hello, everyone. My name is Ozair, and thanks for joining in. Today, I've got a very special guest and a friend with me, Mr. Paul Ryan of Improve on You. And Paul and I are going to discuss, well, Paul is going to give you some great tips on how to present yourself in front of an audience, be it in person or in front of your camera. And it's quite important that we have some kind of tips, or not tricks but techniques, to use when we are presenting ourselves, because video is playing a huge part in the marketing mix for most companies. And there's no better person I can think of other than Paul to give us some tips and advice. Hello, Paul. How are you?
I'm really good. Lovely to see you as there. And what a wonderful build-up. I feel very honoured. But I agree with everything you're saying. I am definitely the right person to ask. Shall I talk to everybody a little bit about what I do? And
Yes, who you are, what you do.
okay, so I'm an actor primarily, but my second business, my lifestyle business, is called Improve on You, and I help to teach people to speak at their best when it really matters the most. And as Ozzy just touched on there, that's moving. It's moving alongside. There's still an awful lot of live work, face-to-face stuff, but when we think in terms of video and the power of video, online and online products and online marketing to create passive income, etc., it's a really interesting and growing market. I've got lots of people coming to me saying, how do I speak in front of a camera? So if you've got any questions, Ozzy, that you want to fire at me, and I'll give everyone really clear answers, hopefully.
Yeah, thank you. And so let's get started. So the first thing, Paul, is there a big difference when somebody is talking in front of a camera, whether be it a smartphone or like a video conference call like this, or when they are creating a professional video for themselves, or when they are presenting their pitch or their 60-second pitch at a networking event, or presenting in person in front of an audience?
Got it. Yeah, of course, there are many differences with all those particular scenarios that you just gave me. I think the one common denominator is that people are most likely to feel a bit nervous. If you're not used to speaking in front of a camera, if you're not used to getting up and speaking in front of a live audience, your nerves kick in. So the first thing I could suggest is to gather your nerves. Take some time to think what you're going to be saying, particularly if it's an informal video being shot on your phone, for example.
Yeah.
Think about what you're going to say. There's a lot of blither, in my opinion, happening out there. Now, we want our phone movies, if you like, to have a sense of spontaneity and to have a sense of immediacy. But by the same token, there's a lot of stuff I'm seeing where people just they don't know what they're on about, or they forget what they're talking about, or they just get out there and start talking nonsense, stuff that's not important, where there isn't a real quality of message, where the data, the information, the content has real value. And remember, if your content doesn't have value, people are going to switch off. So rehearse what you're going to say, or at least have a few bullet points if you're out and about shooting on your phone. With regard to live presentations, listen, that's an absolutely massive subject, and Ozzy, you've been on my
workshops,
and as you know, you can't just squeeze it all into 15 minutes, which we're trying to do here. But if I were to give you one tip, it would be, and listen, I spend an hour and a half teaching what I'm about to tell you, an hour and a half, all the details, all the science, everything to do with proprioceptive psychology. That sounds posh, doesn't it? But basically what you do, you will feel. So in essence, if I were to boil it down to one thing, it's when you stand up to speak to your audience, stand up straight and stand still. Because that will give you immediate authority and power. When we fiddle and fidget, it can distract us. What we want to do, when I say stand still, is I mean attain a stillness, and from there, start talking, start saying what it is you want to say, start giving your message, and don't be locked down. Allow yourself to express as you would were you having a conversation with any of your friends. Now, obviously, from my own point of view, I am wildly physical when I speak. to people in real life.
Yeah.
So consequently, when I get up to talk to an audience, that really is part of who I am. And if I were to lock that down, that would stop my communication process working. If you're not particularly, what's the word I'm looking for, physically dynamic when you speak, try stretching yourself so that you add some, but don't go so far so that you become uncomfortable, because again, that will act as a blocker. But know that, 55% of how we communicate is our body language. So if we look confident, and standing up straight will make you look confident, we will feel confident. And as I said, for proprioceptive psychology, the basic notion of that is what you do, you will feel. The state of the human body determines the state of the human mind. So listen, try it.
Even when, just let me interrupt 1 second, Paul, sorry. I know, when I came to your workshop and you talked about feeling confident outside, even though you feel very nervous inside. But that nervousness inside, people can't see it. They only see the exterior, your outside confidence, don't they?
Absolutely. And you make a very interesting point. James Taylor, who's a very well-known American folk rock star, he says, showbiz is 96% what you look like when you're nervous. So if you can fake it, you're going to make it. And actually, it's worth saying that by standing in a positive way, you are going to start feeling positive and energized and focused and in the moment almost immediately. So what I'd like you to do, Ozzy, I'm just going to lead your audience for a second to try something. You can probably see right here, I'm sitting in quite an upright position. I've got good posture. Okay, I'm going to slouch. Good. Now, how does that make me feel? It's going to make me feel low energy. It's a fight or flight posture, so I'm not going to be able to take deep breaths. So here's the other big tip. Before you get up and give your presentation, sit up straight. So sit up straight before and stand up straight as you start. And you're going to be breathing correctly, feeding your brain with lots of really good, rich oxygen to help your thinking.
Now, I'm pretty certain that you are one of the best persons to ask this next question. Being an actor, obviously, you come across lots of makeup, especially for men. How important it is, especially men using makeup for their videos?
Well, I'll make a little confession to you. On Zoom, there's a little button that says make me prettier or something, isn't there? Oh, he's having a cup of tea. I didn't know we could have a cup of tea. Cheers, everybody. Well, hey, listen, makeup is good. I mean, don't be afraid of it. I know that, Ozzy, when I came to you, because you did my website and Fazana took my photographs, I actually, looking back on it, would have thought, do you know what I could have done with just a little bit of what we call base, just to flatten out some of the imperfections that time and nature has given me. So a little bit of makeup is actually a good thing. And we call that base, just a little bit of foundation. Don't worry about eyes. Do that with your lips to bring some color to it. I wouldn't go berserk for a man, but do have an awareness that it's quite helpful. So, for example, here today, you can see I've got, I'm 53, all right? So I've earned these.
Really?
Yes. It's impossible to believe. But I could put something, were I doing, the lighting would be better.
Yeah.
Here you see I've got my lovely bags there, and I might put something called touche éclat on there, just to take away those shadows, if it really matters to you. Depends how you feel, but that's my view.
Oh, thank you. So, Paul, tell us a little bit more about yourself. What other things do you do, and how do you help companies with presentations, and if there's a team of people who need a bit of training?
Yeah, so I've been working in Improve On You's been going for 7 years. I'm very proud of that. And I started doing public workshops through my networking group 4N. And that was a really wonderful way of reminding myself of the skills that I'd developed a number of years earlier. I was in Mamma Mia in the West End for 3 years, and in that time I didn't have to do anything. Lovely, I could just be an actor. It was marvellous. Toward the end of it, I started thinking, hang on, this is going to come to an end, and what do I want to do to continue being able to sort of have that roof over my head? How am I going to earn any money?
Yeah.
And so I decided I'd set up on my own. Improve on You, marvellous. So from moving on from doing public workshops for networking friends, I then took all that wonderful fresh experience and was able to go into corporate. So I work for Ernst & Young, Glenham Charlcott, one of my major clients at the moment. I'm having a wonderful time with them, and all their people is ClearScore. And ClearScore are a credit rating app.
Yeah.
Probably got it on your phone. They're advertised on TV.
Yeah.
I will go in, I'm part of their onboarding process, and everybody, it's really important that you understand that communication skills are incredibly highly valued by managements and by employers, not only on a one-to-one basis, but if you can speak well in public, if you can take that golden moment, somebody's got to get up and do a presentation, we need it now and we need it on this subject, hands up.
Yeah.
You're the person that goes, yep, I'll do it. That's a golden moment. So people who can give good presentations tend to go up the promotional ladder quite quickly, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that's one thing that I do. So I'll just say one other thing is that in hoping to grow my business from having done presentation skills and confidence building, I'm now doing one-to-ones so that it's much more granular. And I've developed a masterclass. So from the foundation course, which is more about body language, nerve control, and how to ping your message out, then we start talking about structure. How do you grab your audience? How do you keep them there? How do you really tell that story so that they stay with you, so that the learning stays with them, and so that you've engaged, informed, and motivated your audience to act on what they hear?
Yeah.
Then, I'm just going to say one more last thing.
Go on then.
Oh, do you mind?
Go on then.
It's all good stuff. And so to grow the business, I'm now doing executive coaching, which is wonderfully rewarding because it all kind of sews back into the whole idea of confidence and being empowered in the moment. So that's me.
Brilliant. No, thank you. One last question, Paul, before we wrap this up. Everyone, including myself, has made a fair few mistakes and blunders in front of an audience.
Yeah.
What's your top tip how to recover and dig yourself out of that hole rather than digging a deeper hole?
Yeah, sure. Well, what I would say is the first thing that there's a great deal of value in remembering is that we all make mistakes. And if it's a small mistake, don't worry about it. Literally just say, yes, that happened, and park it.
Yeah.
And carry on. The worst thing you can do is focus on making the mistake. You know, if you drop a brick, don't kick it around. If you drop some papers and you panic and you quickly go to pick them up and you smash your head on the podium, which knocks a light, which sets off a water onto an electrical cable and the theatre burns down, you're not going to be forgiven. However, a small mistake, one or two, nobody minds. They probably won't even have registered them because we magnify the mistake. But if you make a small mistake, understand as well that if you get over it well and confidently and with gusto, you're actually going to win brownie points from your audience, from your listeners, because they're going to admire the fact that you overcame that minor difficulty with style. So don't worry about it.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And Paul, one final thing is, how can everyone reach you? What's your website?
Absolutely. So my website is www.improveonyou.co.uk. And on there's all sorts of lovely free gifts, videos. There's some articles that you can grab a hold of. There's podcasts, all to do with presentation skills, all to do with empowering you in the moment. My telephone number, if you want to give me a quick call, is 07973 241 or if you prefer to email me, hey, it doesn't matter. It's a tone mistake. No one will notice. If you want to email me, it's paul@improveonyou.co.uk.
Thank you so much, Paul. And thanks for being a great guest. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And for your sharing your experience and your knowledge. Really appreciate that. So that's it for this interview. Everyone, thanks a lot for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you very soon in our next videos. Bye for now. Bye, Paul.
Bye-bye.